Greetings. Here to bleach my roots. It's time to bleach my roots. Yeah. So we're gonna do that today. Yeah, I don't know. That's all I got right now. I'm going to do some sectioning, some mixing, and some dunking in oil. So I will be back once that's done. Okay, I'm back. I just sneezed, so my nose is all funky and weird. Yeah. Do I need? I've also not quite mixed up my bleach, but anyway, I have the usual thing happening. Maybe a little bit more dilute than usual. Schwarzkopf, developer, BlondeMe. I've got it mixed up to about 10 volume, and the Igora powder, because that's what I have right now. And I've got my sectioning situation. I didn't put oil on the roots, just the lengths, because that kind of makes my hair, it makes it stick together a little bit better. I've got a strategy here. Also, I really should just like face facts and trim my hair, but I don't want to do that yet. I'm not ready to accept that I've done enough damage that I need to cut it again, because I don't want to cut it. So anyway, I'm not doing the very bottom, because if you've been around, you know that I sweat and then the bleach runs and it's just a bad time. So this feels a little thick. Put a little bit more. Too thick. That's probably not enough to make a difference. Actually, maybe let's pop a little bit of the Bond stuff in, and that'll thin it out. Perhaps. Yes, this seems better. I'm sure this is fascinating watching the top of my head. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Just get this side. I did not do a very nice sectioning job there, apparently. It's fine though. It's all fine. Okay. Bleaching. I'm not going to do anything to the lengths this time around. Why does it's really hard to see from my wrist right here? Possibly because I've got so much oil in my hair. I might have gone a little bit overboard, but it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. I'm already slightly hot. Anyway, let's talk about stuff. I successfully hiked to Healy Pass, which has been a goal of mine for several years now. I just kept putting it off because the approach is so long. But last year, I came up with a genius idea of taking a chairlift up to Sunshine Meadows. Wait, did I start recording? Yes, I did. Yeah, taking the chairlift to Sunshine Meadows, because that saves literally 700 meters of elevation gain by the time you take the second chairlift. And you know, distance is much easier than elevation for me, because I don't have the best cardio fitness and I suffer hard going uphill. So like, okay, well, you know, that adds like a kilometer or two, but it'll be fine because I'm skipping out on the elevation gain. Not really, you know, fully comprehending just how far like 19 kilometers in a day is, because that's a really long freaking way. How many miles would that be divided by 1.6? I don't know, but it's a lot. Why am I so crooked here? I don't know. I was good for like 10 kilometers. Beautiful views, you know, good times up in the alpine of the tree line. The larches were starting to larch. P.S. This video might come out like in a ridiculously weird order because I'm kind of stacked up on non-hair videos at the moment. But anyway, yeah, the larches were starting to larch. It's good times, not going uphill and suffering. But then, like, at about the, 9-10 kilometer mark, I started going uphill. Like, oh my god. So, yeah, I made it up to Healy Pass and was like, this is not worth the amount of effort that I had to put in. It was beautiful, but it's 19 kilometers is a really long way. I'm so glad I didn't try to go up the official Healy Pass trail and then I did the sunshine thing because, oh my god, I went down that way and it was just trees and trees and trees, and not even like pretty large trees, just trees. A little walk through the forest is nice enough. 8 kilometers of it is not cool. So it's been 5 days and my calves are still killing me. I think I'm okay standing. I'm actually leaning against my bathroom counter right now, which I feel like I usually don't do. Like my quads and stuff are okay. Like used to my quads and my glutes hurting a lot more. But because I didn't go uphill, they're okay. It's my calves are not having a good time. So, large season is still early days. It would have been better if I had gone to Healy Pass like a week later, maybe a week and a half for peak larchness, but Sunshine closed this weekend, so it's what it is. But I don't really have a plan for the next one I'm going to do because I could do. I took some time off for large season. I won't take time off for any holidays, but larches. If you don't know, larches, if you're one of the, vast majority of people who do not watch the hiking videos, which is fair, I don't blame you. Larches are a coniferous tree, so they've got needles, but they turn this beautiful golden color and those are needles. And about the 3rd week of September, through the beginning of October, larch season is a thing. What am I doing? I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing right now. It's too thick. What can I get? So yeah, larch season is a hit. Because Western Canada, part of Canada that I live in, I don't know about BC, but Alberta, in the fall basically all the trees just turn yellow. It's not like Eastern Canada where you get the trees with like red leaves and stuff, and it's just yellow. And it's pretty, it's just not very exciting. So we've got to take our excitement like everywhere we can, and we definitely get excited by larches. So I probably could do 2 more. I could do more than that, but considering my fitness level, I could do 2 more. I just have to decide what ones to do. Because one of my friends, the friend that I usually go larching with, is away this week. So we might do our usual one when she gets back. I'm aware that this video is probably not going to be up until like mid-October or November. Probably I've got a toning video. Yeah, toning video. It's my only other hair video. That might be mid-October. I don't know. It doesn't matter that much. It doesn't really matter that much. Anyway, large season will be well over when this video goes up. I don't even remember what I was talking about. Anyway, I've got some things to figure out. I'm also at like peak stress mode about upcoming trip, which is still a month and a half away, but stress. Because, you know, the last time I went on a long holiday, Howie died. And yeah, I've got people coming to stay at my house to cat sit for Phil and be his little companions. So hopefully he'll be okay. But, you know, I still haven't, you know, that was bad. We were talking about our worst fears at work one day, and I didn't really say anything, but like the worst thing kind of already happened to me, and you know, like kind of, I mean, definitely. So, you know, I didn't want to bring everybody down, so I'm just going to bring you down instead. But yeah, so I'm nervous, and because I've got people I don't know staying in my house, and like I needed to go into hardcore cleaning mode. And then there's the, you know, little stresses like the room that adjoins this bathroom. It's a fucking disaster. Like I've got so many clothes. I've got a stupid amount of clothes. I don't wear any of them. And I've got like Rubbermaid containers full of clothes that are too small. I've got 2 garbage bags of clothes that I need to donate. Like I just have so many clothes. And like a Rubbermaid container full of purses that I haven't opened in probably 10 years. Like I could just chunk them, but it's just, you know, getting the interior motivation to actually do it is another story, because I can just kind of like walk away from this room, because all I ever do in this room is get dressed and like pluck my eyebrows. So it's not staring me in the face all day every day, so it's easy to just be like, oh yeah, maybe next week. And then, you know, it's been a year since my last big purging quest, and I'm like, yeah, still haven't done it. Maybe next week. You know how it is. It's cute. My nephew is like 10. I think he's 10. My brother and sister-in-law must have given him my phone number, because now he texts me every night to say goodnight, which is cute. And I respond with a picture of Phil, because yeah, that's the only thing that goes on in my life is Phil. And work, but you know, I can't exactly send pictures to work. And do I ever work with some Gen Zs though? There was one day we were talking about when like still hasn't quite gotten her driver's license, but she bought like a used car, and she was in the process of buying it, and she's like, well, I don't know, we somehow got onto the topic of checks, because she's wondering like how to go about actually paying for it. And she didn't know what a check was. Like the physical piece of paper. Like she's, you know, heard of like a paycheck, but like I had never encountered an actual like paper check. Like, wow, damn, I'm old. Ooh, there was another one. Well, I feel like this isn't really just an age thing. Just like, why don't you learn this in school? Like, again, you know, not wanting to just force girls into home ec class or whatever. It wasn't called home ec when I did it, but whatever it was called. Like, you learn to like sew on a button and use a sewing machine, and like, you know, do those ultra basic things that like how to hem pants, whatever. Like, you know, boys should learn that stuff too. I think that they did at my school. I don't really remember. It's been a long ass time. There's somebody at work who was trying to sew on a button, and they didn't even know how to thread a needle. Like, I just because she like put the thread through the hole and then like knotted it around the needle hole. I'm like, that's not gonna go through the fabric. Like you don't know how to thread a needle? what? What? I just like, that's a basic kind of life thing that everybody should know how to do. I'm sorry if you don't know how to thread a needle, but I feel like if you don't, you should learn. You know, those basic things kind of are useful. They're not like mandatory for survival, but they're useful. I don't know, it still blows my mind. So I taught her how to sew a button on. This is probably what? There's another, oh my god, yeah. Somebody who just actually cutting this out, doing this side. I'll be back with another story about how damn old I am. Okay, anyway, while I was away, while I was here, while you were away, I was thinking the same colleague as the button also one day was talking about how she wanted an espresso maker. Well, she needed an espresso maker because instant coffee just tastes terrible. And it's like, you drink instant coffee? Like, why would you drink instant coffee? Like, you can buy coffee and make coffee. She's like, oh, I can't find a good brand of coffee. You know, it all just tastes bad. Like, that's because you're drinking instant coffee. Like, instant coffee's disgusting. Like, what's your fan? So, you know, it's like, well, I'm a little bit of a coffee snob. I'm not like, you know, an extreme coffee snob, but I'm a little bit of a coffee snob. Enough to be like, no, I don't like Tim Hortons. It tastes like shit. Also enough to be like, you know, McDonald's has okay coffee. Like, it's not the best. Or, you know, not at the level where it's like, I don't like Starbucks. I only like, you know, some special brand that's better than Starbucks. I feel like that's how those people sound. Sorry if you're one of those people. Yeah, like, I mean, I buy a whole bean coffee and I grind it, you know, once every couple of weeks, not every day, because I'm not into that kind of effort every morning. And I use a French press because I don't trust electricity, even though I need electricity for the kettle. It's, you know, because you didn't want to buy a coffee maker because it would take up too much counter space or something. Like, well, I guess like a French press you can just put away. Anyway, she didn't believe me that you can have decent coffee that you make yourself that's not espresso. So I brought her some of my coffee to work. She's like, oh, this is really good. But she still wants an espresso maker. Like, okay, I guess. Each to their own. Each to their own. Yeah, the only reason I use a French press is because I'm not willing to shell out a bunch of money for a fancy coffee maker because I just drink like basic black coffee. And, you know, when it's on the burner, then it ends up tasting burnt. And yeah, I've got an insulated French press, and then I don't need to rely on the coffee maker working. I can just, as long as I can boil water in some way, I'm good. I've got a kettle. I've got a backup should I need it. I could boil water. There's many ways to boil water. As long as I've got electricity, I can have coffee. Yeah, after the last time my coffee maker broke, I'm like, fuck this. I'm not going to rely on this anymore. Yeah, I don't know, the Gen Zs. Sorry if you're one of them. Instant coffee. Like, no wonder you think, oh, you can't make good coffee at home. You're drinking instant. That's so gross. The Gen Zs. Oh yeah, the other I'm old woman. Tony knew was hired at work, and I recognized the last name as somebody who worked there when I first started. And so when I worked with her, I was like, oh, are you related to this person? And do you know this person? And she's like, yeah, that's my mom. she doesn't work with us anymore and hasn't for a long time. Like, she was 3 when I started there. She was 3. Yeah. So I've been working in one place long enough that people who were toddlers when I started now, are my colleagues. Damn. Oh, that I had a moment. I was working with somebody else that day she's been there for longer than I have. I was like, do you feel old? Like, yes. Damn, that was a moment in my life. It was a moment, I tell you. I still haven't quite gotten over it. What else have I got for work stories? Somebody keeps accusing me of being a trad wife because I like make my own jam and like bake and stuff, and I'm like, I'm not a trad wife. Like, yeah, I'll make you some rhubarb jam because I'm gonna make rhubarb jam this year. I'm not a trad wife. Like, I don't like to cook and I don't like to clean. So I think that just automatically eliminates me from being a trad wife. Just because I like to bake. And when it comes to almost anything, I'll be like, well, you could do that yourself. Although, I don't know, when you're single and you live alone, and I don't have a whole lot of friends because I'm an introvert, and I'm difficult to get along with. I'm quite difficult to get along with. I admit that. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, like when you're like that, if you want to do something or something needs to be done, you just need to do it. Like hiking. Everyone's like, oh, you're so brave to go by yourself. Like, well, if I didn't go by myself, I wouldn't go a lot of the time. Like, there's sometimes I can go with people, but like, it's hard to align schedules. And like, if I want to go, if I want to do something, I just have to do it. Like, often by myself. But it's just the way it is. I'm like, oh, you're so brave, or you're so independent. Well, if I wasn't independent, I wouldn't do anything. Like, oh, I can't believe you traveled by yourself. Like, well, if I didn't go by myself, I wouldn't go because I don't have anybody to go with. Which can be a struggle sometimes, but what do you do? What do you do? Just do it. Just go. Just plant the asparagus. P.S. My asparagus has a frond growing. It's very exciting. And if you're up on the asparagus story, I got some asparagus crowns this year because I've always wanted to plant asparagus. Like, fuck it. Just plant the asparagus, thinking I was being all profound. Like, I've lived here for 7 years. It takes a long, not 7, it takes a long time to become, where did I come up with 7? Anyway, it takes a long time to produce, so I hadn't bothered. And then, like, I've lived here for 15 years. Just plant the asparagus, and, being so profound, like, it's like a metaphor for life. Just plant the asparagus. YOLO. And then I planted it, and I needed to move it within a week. Yeah, my landlady started a construction project in the backyard. Just, I feel like that's even more of a metaphor for life. You're like, oh yeah, just plant the asparagus that you've had space to plant it in for 15 years, and then you need to move it in a week because that space will be gone. Yeah. Anyway, I had to transplant it, and I got one little frond growing, which is very exciting. Oh, and I planted some jalapenos, and I've got probably like 8 jalapenos on a little plant in the yard. We were having an unseasonably warm September, so I've had one. I've like picked one and eaten it. It's solid. It was quite good. I wanted to have a larger harvest, but it didn't start growing until quite late, possibly because we had an unseasonably rainy and cool summer, which I was okay with. I don't think my Pino's were. What the fuck is happening here? I got a mess happening here. Anyway, yeah, it's been warmer in September than it was like all summer. Global warming, climate change. We're fucked. Everybody's fucked. Fuck, this keeps falling out of my ear. Possibly because I'm covered in grease. Okay, let's go. I had some other things to talk about. What else was I going to talk about? I don't remember. I'm making a bit of a mess up here because I'm tired. I don't want to do this anymore. Oh yeah, Haley Pass. I literally got to the point where I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm like, sit down. I'm like, okay, you can go for half an hour and then you can sit down. I was so tired. Yeah, the way back was not a fun time. So now I know. Never again. If this video comes out before that one, which it probably will, and spoilers, not that anybody's gonna watch that video because, you know, nobody watches hiking videos. But I can't do a hair video every week because I don't have the patience. Well, and because it's kind of nicer to just let my hair fade a bit. I don't want to have one or two hiking videos lined up before that one. I think just one. At least I remembered my hiking shoes. It's the hike before that I was a fucking idiot. And just like pure muscle memory, you know, you leave the house and you put on your shoes. And so I put on my work shoes, which are like just like little slip-on, not even ankle-high shoes, and I had deep regrets. But by the time I realized, so I was like sitting in my car at the meeting place, and like, wait, my feet don't feel right. And I looked down, like, oh, for fuck's sakes! I put on the wrong shoes. I walked right past my hiking boots to my not even running shoes. Dumb. And I was 20 minutes away from home and I didn't want to make people wait for me. Gave it a whirl. Didn't work out super well, but oh man, my ankles were so sore for like 2 weeks after that. Ankle support makes a difference hiking, as it turns out. Also, the construction project in the backyard is still ongoing. Thankfully, it's almost, well, I don't know if it's almost done, but there's much more progress. I can't even park my car in my usual spot. There's no means for me to cross the yard that's not going to be break my ankles, so I have no way to get to my car without like walking around the garage in the alley. And I'm quite annoyed with the whole thing, especially because I didn't really want it, but I had to. I don't own the place, it's not my choice. And now, I'm sure I've complained about the window wells, the fucking window wells, oh my god. Because last year, the fence that I hate made me feel like I was being put in jail, and then this year, the window wells, it's only in a basement. It's got pretty big windows that are like chin height on me, but now the window wells are buried. Well, the windows are buried halfway by window wells, so all I see at eye level when I look out the window is what? I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it? The one up to like there, middle of my finger, is all wood. Just lame. Okay, can I reach? I can reach. Sorry. I'm tethered to the camera. Anyway, I fucking hate the window wells because she's raising the grade in the yard. I'm sorry if I've talked about this before. I'm a rambler and I'm a repeater. Yeah, like, we're gonna have the highest yard in the street. Like, but what if it's not really necessary? I don't know. she was burned so badly by the infill that went in next door. They built literally on the property line and dug a hole literally on the property line to the point where it like undermined our sidewalk. They didn't backfill it properly, and she needed to redo the sidewalk, and they built a garage on the property line next to our parking pad, on the property line. Like they couldn't even have an overhang because that would go over to our property. And then they were constantly fucking trespassing on our parking pad because they needed to, because it was on the property line and they couldn't build it because like it violated city ordinances. And like, we kept complaining, and the builder kept threatening us. So one day well, I don't know if it was him, but someone cut a pigeon's throat and threw it into our yard. Guess who got to pick that up? If we went outside, he would like deliberately come and like wipe the mud off of his shoes on our grass. It was, Jesus Christ, it was bad. But anyway, when I go outside, I kind of like went to the back and like peek on the progress. There was one day, she's like, Kelsey, come here, Kelsey. And I had a piece of rebar and like pushed it, I can't even, like 3 feet down, straight down into the ground, and just like a complete hole underneath the garage because they didn't, fill it properly. And like, when that garage collapses, guess whose yard is going to collapse into? Like, geez, oh fuck, the way that I've seen infills built, like, I would love to be able to afford a house, but I don't think I would want to buy a house that was built before, after like 2000, because oh my god, they do such a shitty job. And like, even just the interior stairs, spent 2 months lying outside in the weather before they were installed. Anyway, yeah, the void underneath their garage, though, like, sketchy. Yeah, anyway, she's doing the grade and the yard so high, so basically if they do another infill on the other side, then things won't drain into our yard because our yard will be higher. Like, I get it, but I fucking hate it. And if I could afford a house, I would move. I can't afford a house. Okay, I need to mix up a little bit more. P.S. This was closer to 15 volume, and now I'm just going to do 20. Almost done. It's a good pause. Unpause. Oh, sections. Taking sections. I don't really have a good plan for what I'm doing next. I really have been having a hankering for orange hair for like months now. Like, do I want to do orange? Do I want to do like lavender? Orange or lavender are kind of what I'm leaning towards. But I haven't decided yet. I also have like a long-term video that I've been doing over the process of lightening my hair. It's going to be like going from blue to blonde. So I feel like I should actually achieve like a proper blonde and not that kind of shitty uneven mess that I had. So maybe I should do that and then do orange. I don't know. I just don't know. Yeah, the color of my lengths is kind of sloppy. So I really need to trim them, and I don't want to. Maybe after the next time I bleach my hair, bleach my roots. I think I got a new TV. Yeah, I got a new TV. Yeah, I talked about that because I complained about it. Gets new TV, complains about new TV. What else is going on? Not a lot. This is a little bit thin. Yeah, I'm going to be on the point of really wanting to try very hard right now. Which is not the best section of my head to be not caring about trying. Yeah, the FSL kind of lifted my roots a little bit. It's a bit of a weird golden color. My roots have been bothering me a lot, which tends to happen when I've got lighter hair. Like that's a reasonable thing. Speaking of paper thin sections, so I'm kind of hungry. Getting hungry. Okay, go here. This little orange spot. So it smells. I'm not done yet though. I still have that whole section in the back. Don't forget about the back section. Okay. Okay. Turning around. Here we go. I really need to clean my mirror. It's a bit of a mess. Nope, not gonna work. Kind of, not really. Okay. Okay. I'm just gonna finish this off camera because I think I'm kind of out of things to talk about, and yeah, you've seen the process. So I'll be back once it's dry. I'm probably, I don't know, I'll check on it and see how long to leave it on. And I'll cross check everything before I am officially done. Ta-da! Did a pretty good job. Full disclosure, I did run a little bit of bleach diluted a lot with developer through the ends just to even out the base a little bit. It's a little bit yellower at the roots than it maybe should be, but I'd rather under process than over process at this point. And I definitely missed. Normally I go around my hairline, but I forgot. So there's a little spot here and a little spot here that I missed. But honestly, I'm gonna have roots again in like 3 days, so it's not worth going back in and fixing those spots. Not worth it. So yeah, ow. I ripped down the cord going around here and didn't get rid of it, so now it's just underfoot. Fun times. Yeah. So I think that I got everything. Now that the roots are actually done, you can see there's a little bit of blue left. It's just a little bit. It's not much, but there's a little bit of blue left. It's still living, still present. So anyway, now I'm going to try to toner it again. So tune in for that.